So boys and girls, today we're going to be talking about the words perimeter and area. If you'll look at the picture that I've drawn, let's take a look at the word perimeter first. Inside of the word perimeter, you see the small word rim. Now we know that a rim can mean the rim of glass. It can mean the rim on a basketball hoop that the basketball goes through. So the rim just simply means the outside edge. If you'll look at the picture, my fence is going around the rim of the yard. It's going around the edge. So that is my perimeter. Everything inside, the whole grassy area, everything inside of that fence is our area. So let's talk about that. The word perimeter simply means the measurement around the outside of an object. And if we want to figure out what the perimeter of an object is, we simply just have to add all of the sides together. So let's take a look at this first object that I have drawn here. And if we counted the squares going across the top, we count 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to pretend that for right now, these are centimeters. So we would say that we have 4 centimeters across the top. We have 1, 2, 3 centimeters down the right-hand side. We have 4 centimeters going across the bottom and 3 centimeters going up the left-hand side. So we just simply have to add 4 centimeters plus 3 centimeters plus 4 centimeters plus 3 centimeters, and what we get is 14 centimeters. What I want you to be careful about is to make sure that you include your unit of measurement. This time we said it was in centimeters. If we were doing like a great big fenced area, we would probably measure that in feet. And we know that we can measure things in inches or yards or miles. So this is very important that you include your unit of measurement so we know what we're talking about. So again, the outside edge or rim is the perimeter of an area. We also said we were going to talk about the area, everything that is on the inside. So, to figure out the area, that is the measurement of the space in square inches on the inside of the area. And you'll notice that I've colored it green, or I've colored the inside because I want you to understand that it's all of this space. So here's how we figure that out. Again, we have 4 across, 4 centimeters. I did it in centimeters this time. And we have 3 going down the bottom. Now, let me just ask you this. I haven't written numbers here, but if this is 4, then what's this have to be? It has to be 4 as well, right? If this is 3, then what does this have to be? We know that would be 3. There are 2 ways to figure out the area. If you have a smaller object like this, one would be just to count the squares. And we could count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and we would see that the area is 12 centimeters. But if this were a larger object and we had lots of little squares, the easiest way to do it would just be to multiply. So we're going to multiply our length times our width. We're simply going to multiply 4 times 3. And when we multiply 4 centimeters times 3 centimeters, we get 12 centimeters. If you'll notice, boys and girls, I have this little tiny 2 up here. That stands for the word squared. And the reason we do that is because we didn't just do 4 times 3. We had 2 4s and we had 2 3s. So you will learn later more about the word squared, but for right now, I want you to remember that when you're doing area, you not only have to include the unit of measurement, but you also have to include that little 2 that means square, okay? All right, we're going to practice. we already know that in a perfect square, we have congruent sides, we have parallel sides, all of those terms that we learned in geometry. But if I were going to do the perimeter of this square, I have 4 across, 4 inches down. I used inches this time just to change it up a little bit. 4 inches across, 4 inches down the left side. So remember, to do perimeter, we do what? We add all 4 sides. So 4 inches plus 4 inches plus 4 inches plus 4 inches is 16 inches. Our perimeter is 16 inches. And sometimes I like to say that when you're finding the perimeter, it's like taking a walk around. If we walked all the way around it and counted as we went, we would go 4, 8, 12, 16. So that would be like you just taking a walk around the fence that went around your yard, for example. So the perimeter for this was 16 inches. The area, remember I said there are 2 ways. If I counted each one of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, I came up with 16 inches squared. The easier way to do that is to do length times width. 4 inches times 4 inches equals 16 inches squared. Don't forget about our little square. Okay, let's look at our rectangle. In our rectangle, to find the perimeter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 inches plus 2 inches. What would this one be? If this is 7, this is also going to be 7, so plus 7 inches more, plus 2 inches more, 7 plus 2 plus 7 plus 2 inches equal 18 inches. Got it? All right, let's do our area for this one. 7 inches times 2 inches. 7 times 2, boys and girls, is 14. So 14 inches squared. For this object, we are, this one's a little bit different, so I want you to hang with me and watch, okay? For this one, in order to do our perimeter, remember how I said that we're simply going to count as we walk around each edge? That's simply what we're going to do, okay? So here we go. We're going to count 1, 2. We're going to turn the corner, 1, 2. Now we have to turn the corner again, 1, 2. And let's do yards this time. Turn the corner, 1, 2, 3 yards. Turn the corner again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards. Turn the corner again, 1, 2, 3 yards. 1, 2, 3 yards. And 1, 2 yards. Now we have to add all this up. We can do it though, here we go. The tricky part in this is to make sure you add every single one. So this is where I like to use my finger to make sure I keep up and I don't forget, especially one of those smaller ones. So we have 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 7 plus 3 plus 3 more and plus 2. So let's add those together. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 yards is our perimeter. If we walked all the way around the edge of this figure, it would be 24 yards. In order to do the area for this one right now, and you'll learn how to do this using multiplication more later, but right now we're just going to simply count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. So our area of this figure is 25 yards. And what else do I need to put? Remember, my little square. All right, one more. And I want you to notice in this one, there are no little boxes drawn. But we do have two measurements. Let's look. We have 5 feet here and 7 feet here. If this were a perfect square, Mrs. Hatfield can't draw a perfect square. But we know that if this were 5 feet and this were a perfect square, since this is 5 feet, this is going to be what? 5 feet. If our right-hand side is 7 feet, then our left-hand side is going to be 7 feet. So, to do our perimeter, 5 feet plus 7 feet plus 5 feet plus 7 feet. So, here we go. 5 plus 7 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So the perimeter around the edge of our figure is 24 feet. We still have to figure out the area, but that's going to be easy because we have 5 feet times 7 feet. 5 times 7, boys and girls. I want to hear you out in Cyberland. 35 feet squared. All right, I have one more thing I want us to look at. How do we know when we need to use area and when we need to use perimeter? Let's talk about that. All right, let's see. Which would you use to determine the distance around your backyard? So if you went outside and you walked around the edge of your backyard, what would you be determining? You would be determining the perimeter. Because remember, that's the rim around the edge. If we needed to know how much mulch was needed to cover our playground, every year they bring in more mulch and they spread it all inside the playground to make sure we're safe, we would need to know what? Since the mulch is covering the entire inside of the playground, that would be the area. We would need to know how much area. And our crew that comes and does that, they actually come and measure so that they know how much mulch to bring. So they don't bring too much or too little. All right, if Mr. Johnson decided to put a fence around that soccer field, our new soccer field, what would he need to find if he's doing a fence around the soccer field? Perimeter. And lastly, when Mrs. Edmonds decided to put new carpet in her office and she wanted to cover the entire office floor, she had to do some measuring and she had to figure out what? She had to figure out the area. All right, so boys and girls, just a little lesson on area and perimeter, and you can come back and look at this again this week as you do your math lessons for the week. So this is Mrs. Hatfield saying have a great week.